What does it mean for something to be practical? You see, I think most people conflate practical with affordable, as though if something costs more and is luxury, it can't be practical anymore. They'd say that the four-door car that goes for less than $30,000 and fits a good-sized family is practical, but the extreme sports car is not. And that might be a little true, but I don't think it's the full definition of practical. I think practical means spending as much money as you need and no more to get a particular job done well. Even if it's not practical for somebody else, something might be practical for you. Take me, for instance. If you've already seen my desk setup tour, then you know I have these expansive monitors I work with that for most people would be ridiculous, but for me is absolutely necessary because as a YouTuber and a journalist, I need to be able to have all that space so that I can edit videos and communicate with various teams all at once and not miss out on what's going on. I've spent just enough to make that happen and no more. So it's practical, at least for me. I've been living with the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i 2nd generation for a while now, and I've been wondering this whole time, is this practical? It's $2,000, so it's not affordable. But is it practical? In theory, the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i is perfect for me. I love having multiple monitors to work with. I like being able to multitask. I need to be able to see more things at once. And when you're on the go with a laptop, yes, you can fit more than one thing on a monitor, but it'll be tiny and squashed. And frankly, I'm too old for that. I don't want to have my magnifying glasses out to be able to read the text of the things side by side. Here, finally, you could run an app on one monitor, full-sized, and an app on the other monitor, full-sized. But there are some immediate compromises you have to be aware of. First, it's expensive. It's $2,000. That's not cheap for a laptop. And second, well, when you have two monitors, where's your keyboard go? Right here. There's a little Bluetooth keyboard that comes with this system, and a pen, and a mouse. And you can use this Bluetooth keyboard to type in several ways, whether it be in this mode with this nice little origami stand I have behind here, or directly on the laptop. Place the keyboard towards the top of the bottom screen and a trackpad will appear at the bottom. If you prefer, for some reason, you can move the keyboard towards you, which will bring it closer. It'll be at the bottom of the bottom screen, but you'll lose that digital trackpad. And instead you'll get these widgets that are frankly useless. And unfortunately, as you can see here from this high-tech recreation, they're not even working at the moment. Best I can tell, Lenovo broke them with some update, and it's not even the first time that's happened. I'm sure they'll fix it eventually, but it doesn't change the fact that they are still useless. I don't know why Lenovo bothered with this if they're not going to make it more useful. I don't ever use it this way because what's the point? The trackpad itself digitally is fine. You get some haptic feedback and it's kind of accurate to it, and the digital keyboard is not terrible. It's fine for a digital keyboard. A hardboard keyboard is obviously preferable, and a mouse is obviously preferable. Lenovo did include the mouse, and well, how do we put this nicely? Buy a different mouse. It works. It's service. I don't like this mouse. I can't be nice about it. I do not like this mouse. Its only good point is that it can in theory hook up to two different devices. It's got a 1 and a 2 Bluetooth spot, but I don't want to hook it up to any devices. Buy your own mouse. And it comes with a pen, and the pen works just fine. If you want to draw directly on a tablet, having one included is perfect. I'm not an artist, so I don't get as much out of this, but on the occasion where I need to sign my name or write something out, it actually is pretty handy. It's a bonus, and I like that fact. What I don't like is having to charge so many devices. The mouse is battery powered, that's a bonus, and again, buy your own. The pen is not powered by the laptop like a Wacom system. It's powered by USB-C and it dies fairly quickly. The keyboard is also powered by USB-C and dies fairly quickly. And the laptop is also powered by USB-C. You've got 2 ports on this side and 1 port on that side. I really love it when companies have ports on both sides that work for charging. That's the end of my compliment about that though, because again, the battery dies really fast, even on standby. I haven't used this in a day, just to test. And it dropped from 100% to 56% on standby without me actively using it from a full charge. That's kind of ridiculous. And when you are actively using it, expect to go through battery fast. These days, when something is on an Intel processor that's all integrated and no dedicated GPU, you can expect these things to last for hours and hours and maybe days. This would last nowhere near that long. But that's not necessarily a deal breaker. As long as you keep it topped up, well, and the keyboard, and the pen if you want to use that too, then you can make do. We've long lived with laptops that just don't last long enough. So charging on the go is a normal thing at this point. And thankfully, just about everywhere you go, you probably have access to a power outlet or bring a giant battery pack. As long as the device does what it's supposed to do well. And in my experience, that's unfortunately not necessarily the case. Do you remember that thing I said earlier where you can drop the keyboard on top of the screen and then the trackpad appears automatically? Well, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes the trackpad just doesn't appear. Sometimes you have to lift out the keyboard, put it down, lift it up, put it down again, and eventually the trackpad appears. And then it'll appear in floating mode when you've left it in static mode or the other way around. And sometimes the software keyboard is buggy too. You should be able to call it up by just putting your 8 fingers down and tapping real quick, and that pops up the keyboard and trackpad as well. That often doesn't happen. It's fairly consistent. I'd say 70% of the time it pops up correctly, but that still leaves 30% of the time when it doesn't. And that's before we even start talking about the fact that Lenovo, I like you as a company. You make great laptops, and I really love companies that want to experiment and do new form factors that are awesome like this. You've got to stop it with the bloatware. This thing comes with McAfee on it, and this was brand new out of the box that they sent me, and it had an expired trial of McAfee on it. So it was immediately telling me that I needed to go ahead and pay if I wanted the McAfee to work. I just uninstalled that, of course. And there's a few other pieces of Lenovo specific software that don't do a lot or anything unique that the Windows couldn't already do. I don't know why they do all that. It makes the experience worse. I would rather have a cleaner version of Windows. Give me the gestures that pull up the new features enabled by a dual screen laptop, but make them work well. Speaking of gestures, you can also use one to fling a window from one screen to the other. I've never mastered it. It's something about dragging to a particular icon and letting go, and it rarely works for me. I end up getting the mouse out and moving it over. And as you can see, we're getting into the problems of this. For this to be practical, it's okay for it to cost $2,000 as long as it does the job well, and it doesn't. Especially if you want to do anything of power. I am a video editor. So for me, the dream is that I could put Premiere up here and my email program down here, or my chat program down here, or my Photoshop down here, and I could work on 2 things at once and not miss out. This is running an Intel processor without a dedicated GPU. And if you're familiar with Intel processors, what that tells you immediately is that this just will not run Premiere well. One of my first steps as a video editor is to have Adobe Premiere automatically load a transcript so I can easily find all my flubs, I've had many in this video, and cut them out. It saves me a lot of time. On my MacBook Pro, that takes about 4 to 5 minutes on the average video to pull that up. On my Mac Studio, it's like 30 seconds because that thing is powerful. On this laptop, when I loaded up a video and asked it to make the transcript for me, it told me it was going to take 45 minutes. So I just went over to my MacBook and I just had it do the transcript, and then I transferred that work over to here, and I tried to pick up from that point. But even then, I was kind of limited on what I could do in Premiere. Basic edits, cut one singular video up into pieces, that's perfectly doable. Start adding layers and things fall apart quickly. This is just not powerful enough. And forget gaming. The things that you could normally even pull off on an integrated processor laptop are still not quite doable here because it's struggling to run 2 different displays, so its resources are kind of halved in a way. This is not for gamers, and it's not for extreme content creators. And that leaves me wondering, who is it for? I mean, this is such a good concept. I love this concept. I want to be in love with this thing. I was so excited when this arrived, and now I'm left going, maybe it's not practical after all. Because if it's not powerful enough to edit video well, or photos well, or game well, then what's that leave? You can check email and watch a movie, I guess. Do you really need a $2,000 laptop to handle basic tasks, even if it does let you multitask? Now don't get me wrong, surprisingly, whereas most laptops have terrible speakers that you wouldn't want to inflict on your worst of enemies, these have pretty decent speakers that put out pretty decent sound. The speakers run right through the middle, so they're taking advantage of this hinge system that makes this whole fold-up thing happen, and they sound good even. But again, for $2,000, they absolutely should sound good, but also everything should look amazing. The displays themselves are nice. They're OLED, so they have those pitch black, inky darks that I love from an OLED, but that also means they're not super bright. I've got the brightness turned up all the way right now, and underneath my bright lights, you can kind of see what's going on, but they're also incredibly reflective. I cannot turn this laptop right now, or you'd see all the lights shining on me and the rest of my studio. You basically get a behind the scenes tour reflected off this laptop, which means it's kind of a problem for taking outdoors on a bright sunny day. And remember, that's sort of the whole deal of this thing. It's a multi-screen, multi-window laptop you can take someplace and get more done, except you can't see and it's not powerful enough. Who is this for, is what I keep coming back to. And I keep coming back to my question of, is this practical? Well, no, because it's too many compromises, including trying to take this places, because you now have this wireless keyboard and this mouse and this pen, and you have to figure out how to travel with them. Well, the stand does fold up, and that lets you fold in the keyboard, and it's got a little loop, but now you've got 2 pieces to take with you. You've got the laptop itself and this origami situation. Thankfully, Lenovo included a sleeve, except the mouse doesn't fit in it, and if you put both the laptop and the origami case with keyboard in it, it no longer wants to close correctly. The magnetic clasp doesn't quite get there. So the sleeve doesn't do a lot of good, and I'm gonna be honest, I never trust a sleeve anyways, especially with a $2,000 laptop. If I drop this, it's not gonna protect anything. If you've been watching this channel long, you know that generally I like Lenovo laptops. I like that a lot of them are more repairable. Not this one. I like that they're fairly powerful. Well, not this one. I like that they help you accomplish tasks well, and well, not this one. This is the rare exception where I think this just probably isn't a laptop you should buy. Not unless you have a very specific use case scenario. Maybe you're a coder who wants side-by-side windows. You could turn this thing sideways and get some portrait views. But you really have to have a specific need. I do hope Lenovo keeps trying this. This is the 2nd generation version of this laptop. It is improved over the first one. It just isn't quite there yet. That's it for now. And until next time,